my friends, John Power, Jay Cordory, and Polly Liu, the Freedom Collective. We are presenting you the 5-day Success Accelerator for goal achievement in 2025. So, without further ado, let's start. I think we are already live. So, you may be watching us today on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on YouTube. We're going live on 3 different social media platforms today, as well as inside Zoom. So if you're watching us on social media, we would love to have you inside Zoom. So my guess is that there is a link to register in the comments, so feel free to click the link and come join us. This is day 2 of the 5-day Success Accelerator. Yesterday, we started this 5-day week training. It's a free training for everyone who has a goal or who wants to set up a goal and achieve a goal. The goal can be really about anything that you want. It could be about your business, could be about your family, your relationships, your health, your money, your finances, your career, your job, your house, really anything you want. We're going to dive deep into this equation of success because success is an exact science and there is an equation to follow. So this is day 2, and today we have a second variable to this equation. So stay tuned. There will be replays. So if you can join us for the entire meeting today, that's okay. There will be a replay. Make sure you register using your email so that you can get all the links to the replays that we will be sending you just after this event has finished every day. So yeah, besides the replay, we are always available if you have any questions during these 5 days. We want to really give you all the support that you need to achieve your goals. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat if you are inside Zoom. In the comments if you're watching us on social media, or just send us an email or a Facebook message if we are connected on Facebook. Also, make sure you join the Facebook group if that's something for you, because we share all kinds of freebies, gifts, and live events as well, besides this event. So we would love to have you. Anyway, let's start day 2 by recapping day 1. So on day 1, we talked about the first variable to the equation of success, and that is setting up the right goal for you. So if this is the first time you join us, this is day 2, and in day 1 we gave you a homework that is to write down the list of things that you want to have, to do, to be, to purchase, whatever you want. Really make a wish list or a want list, because we're not wishy or washy here. We want things and we want them to happen. So make it a want list, decide what you want, and be brave. Admit to yourself what you really want. We talked yesterday about how it is not obvious for us to be brave and to admit what we really desire, because most of the time we are wanting, or we think we want something, but we're actually wanting something that's not for us, just because someone else has suggested it, or someone else will be disappointed if we didn't want that thing and we didn't go after it, or we just think we want it because we never actually asked the question, or we're just even following along at whatever other people are doing. And that's the worst case scenario, because in that case, you are not really living your life to yourself. You're living your life as a follower, and you will never really fully achieve your full potential. And that's such a shame, because we owe it to ourselves to reach our potential, to achieve what we want, because with the goal, and this is what we said yesterday, the goal's main purpose is to help you grow, is to help you become that future version of yourself that can do better, that can do more, that can have better things in life, that can live in a better way, have more wellness, more health, more money, more love, whatever you want, really. This is what this is about. So to recap, as well, something very important from yesterday is that we defined 3 different types of goals: the A-type goal, the B-type goal, the C-type goal. A-type goal is what you think you can do, very obvious, something that you probably achieved before and you just want the exact same thing over and over again, that goal, whatever the result can be, is not going to help you to grow. So that's probably something nice to have, but it shouldn't be the main focus. It shouldn't be the main goal. So we decided to set that apart. Just leave it as it is. Okay, if you know how to get it, you probably don't need any more support. Just go and get it. That's good. B-type goal is that when you think you can make a plan and you can have the right resources, and you say, okay, after a year, probably be I can probably save enough money to buy the house. That's a plan. That's not a goal, because you know exactly how to get there. Or you will need X, Y, and Z, and you know how to get there. That's pretty obvious. So even if you haven't really achieved that goal before, that goal is not really going to help you grow. And eventually, you can probably get bored of that and not pursue that goal to the end. The C-type goal is what you really want, what your heart really desires. And this is what we want to go after. The problem with the C-type goal is that it's good, it's considered the good goal if you have no idea how to get there. This may seem paradoxical. This may seem kind of nonsense. Like, how do I go after a goal if I have absolutely no idea how to get there? That does not make sense. I need to know how to do or what to do exactly. I need to know the steps, the plans, the resources, whatever I need to do. So we are starting with a premise, with a assumption that you don't need to know the how. You only need to know the what. What do you really want? After that, the how will unfold in front of you. But in order for that to unfold, and this is what one of the questions yesterday was about, is that we need to take the next step and we need to set up a deadline. So start with asking yourself what you really want. Second, set a deadline. Say, okay, I want XYZ by next year, by I don't know, 2027, whatever the deadline is, it does not matter. And the deadline is not a constant. It can change. We're giving ourselves a deadline because otherwise you will take all the time in the world and never achieve anything. And yes, what John is showing you here on the screen is a goal card. The goal card was one of the homework parts that we suggested yesterday, is that to start saying by I am so happy and grateful now that. We're talking in the present tense. And this is one of the tricks to really make the mind believe that we're actually already there. So we're not wishing. It's not I wish to have. It's not it would be lovely to purchase this and that, or it's my dream to. We're not dreaming, we're not wishing. We want that and we want it already achieved. So I am so happy and grateful now that. And then you write your goal in the present tense because it's already achieved. And you have to believe that in your mind, in your subconscious mind. And this is what we're going to talk about it today. You have to believe it as it is already accomplished, as it is already real, for it to become real. Because once you believe something, your mind will start thinking a very different way than when you talk about it as a wish or as a dream. We will really explain this very in detail today, but that was the recap for day one. With that being said, are there any questions about day one? Did you guys do the homework? Did you answer the questions? Did you start your want list? You don't have to share your goal if you don't want to, but just let us know if you started this process of goal setting and goal achievement. Okay, we have a few yeses. Good for you, Colm. Good for you. All right. Good for you, Sarah. Okay, cool. Did any one of you had difficulty setting up the right goal? Or do you all maybe know exactly what you want? If that's the case, then excellent. We can start from there. If you have trouble or difficulty setting up the goal, that's completely normal, because setting up goals is not something that we do habitually. We usually follow along what everyone else is doing, or we just follow what success looks like in somebody else's life. So it could be the first time that you ask yourself, what do I really, really want? And it could be something so scary that you're subconsciously denying it or just looking away because it's scary and it's alien to you, to that version of you that is today. Okay, your goal is a very big C goal. Good for you, Sarah. And that's what it should be. That's very brave, and that's a very good thing. So stay tuned. We're going to give you the exact formula of how to achieve that goal. Okay, set up goals with difficulty, but it's a start. You know, it's really about repetition, Colm, because first time is going to be very difficult if this is the first time that you set up a goal. I remember, as I told you yesterday's story, the first time I tried to do my want list, I was like completely frustrated because I didn't really want to think of anything that I could not accomplish. I didn't even want to think about it. This is how scared I was. Because if I couldn't accomplish something, if I couldn't see it happening, it would be very frustrating. It would be disappointing, and I would never want to go into that dreaming situation and getting my hopes up just for me to get disappointed after all and ending up with frustration and nothing accomplished. But the more I did the exercise over and over again, I made it like a daily routine. Every day I would sit down and write a want list. And after just a few days, as if my mind became more flexible and I started becoming more comfortable with this question that I'm asking myself, what do I really want? So it's all about repetition. And yeah, Shirifulay, today I fixed my deadline for May 31st to finish the first chapter of my memory master. That's perfect. So yesterday we talked about deadline, and yeah, you just had to set up a date. That's perfect. That's a very good start and good for you, really. I'm very happy and grateful for all of you that you took action. This is amazing. All right, so let's talk about the second variable in the equation of success, and that is paradigms. If this is the first time you hear this word, or you have heard probably this word and you don't know what it means, please let us know in the comments so that maybe we can take more time to explain it. But I'm going to explain it anyway. And by the way, if you are watching us on social media, you probably just joined the live videos maybe. Hello and welcome. This is day 2 of 5-day Success Accelerator training. Feel free to click the link in the comments and join us inside Zoom so you can ask your questions and you can get direct support. If you want to watch the live, that's also okay. Maybe ask your questions in the comments if you have any. And if you want to ask your questions privately, please feel free to reach out to us by email or inside the Facebook group or send us a message. We would love to really give you any support that you may need in this 5-day free training. So back to paradigms. What is a paradigm and what is a paradigm doing in the equation of success? We often talk about paradigm shift. Maybe especially in the corporate world, let's do a paradigm shift, let's change strategy, or let's change the way we look at things like that. Maybe expressions like that are more usually used. But let's start with the beginning, what the paradigm is and how it really ends up holding us back from achieving our goals and from seeing ourselves in this successful position that we want to be. A paradigm is a set of habits, limiting beliefs, attitudes, routines, could be really anything. Your religion, your language, your choice of food, your favorite color, all of this constitutes the paradigms. All of this really kind of structures that thing that we call a paradigm. So the paradigm is not just one thing, it's not just one habit, it's your whole software, your whole conditioning that you probably maybe inherited genetically. It has been proven scientifically that we inherit certain beliefs from our parents and from our parents' parents. It can probably have been conditioned during your childhood. most likely, because during our childhood we are very open to the environment around us. So we kind of like absorb literally everything around us. So you may have picked up habits, beliefs, or limiting beliefs, especially limiting beliefs. This is what we're going to concentrate on today. Limiting beliefs, habits, choices, attitudes, character, even your personality. It could be conditioning. It probably is, because personality is really the way you act. It's very predictable. I know someone's personality. I know what if I tell them that, they will react this way. It's their personality, as if they have been programmed to do the things a certain way. Some people are afraid of, I don't know, jumping or the dark or whatever. It could be because of some event that happened. We call it emotional impact, or a paradigm conditioning. Over and over again, as a child, you have been conditioned to be scared of the dark or falling or whatever it is, and you develop that fear that you carried around to adulthood. Your paradigm is also everything that you do on autopilot. And guess what? 93% of everything that we do on a daily basis is on autopilot. This is huge because we think we have the choice. We think we're making decisions. We think we are asking questions and thinking about things and then making a conscious choice, but it's really not. The conscious choice probably is just whatever the thoughts are in your mind. You think you have the choice, but your subconscious could be hiding choices from you, could be hiding other perspectives that you're not even considering, just because you have been conditioned to act a certain way and to respond to what's around you in a certain way. So the problem with the paradigm is that when we set up a goal, especially a C-type goal, if you have already set up C-type goal, be careful about this, because the next step after setting up the goal, the paradigm is going to kick in saying, we have never done this before. This is very dangerous. This is going to end in frustration and disappointment. Let's not do it. And the paradigm will do everything in its power. And since it's something that controls 93, 95% of your daily habits and choices, the power is huge. So the paradigm would do everything it can to keep you where you are. Now, why does the subconscious mind or the paradigm do that? It's because the paradigm is designed to, okay, you have learned certain things of how to survive in this universe, and the paradigm has really incorporated that into your subconscious mind to make it second nature. The paradigm is here to keep you alive, to keep you safe. So a C-type goal, something very unusual, something new, something alien from you, is considered by the paradigm that is subconscious. Of course, is not going to tell you as dangerous and shouldn't be done because it's outside safety, outside the comfort zone. We hear many people talking about comfort zone, thinking outside the box, whatever. But comfort zone is really about the paradigm and the limiting beliefs. Your limiting beliefs trying to literally limit you, stay where you are. The intention behind this is good. Your paradigm is trying to save you. Your brain does not really make the difference between an email or meeting a customer or a tiger chasing you. Literally, this has been proven that certain areas in the brain kind of light up in the same places when a tiger is chasing you, or when you have to do something that is beyond your limiting beliefs or beyond your habits, beyond your conditioning. For the paradigm, it's the same thing. I mentioned the subconscious mind a couple of times. So, what is the subconscious mind? Is this the consciousness, unconsciousness, or is it something else? Let's put it in a very easy way for you to understand. The mind is not a thing. The mind is an activity. Now, why do I say that? Because usually when you ask someone about the mind, the majority of people would think of their brain. The brain is something inside your body that's just processing neurosignals, just electrical signals going back and forth and moving your body and making you perceive things through your five senses and maybe process thoughts, many other things, of course, but your brain is not your mind. Your mind is your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, and your body. All of this is your mind. So the conscious mind can literally do the active thinking, do strategizing, collect thoughts and build ideas, perceive things through the five senses, and then make sense of that. That's the role of the conscious mind. The subconscious mind will store every single information that you get throughout your life and make a composite of that. It's like it's building a software. Think of it as the algorithm. We talk about the algorithm all the time, about social media algorithm and how it detects what we like and just shows us the ads that we like, for example. This is exactly how the subconscious mind will act. It will just process every single habit that you incorporate, good or bad. It will process every single thing that will trigger something in you. If I have seen something that would make me joyful or sad, the second time, the third time, the paradigm is going to pick that up and going to store it. So the next time, the signal is going to be much easier to be triggered. So the subconscious mind stores everything around you, especially what triggers emotional response, and then acts from there to make everything that you do, or at least the majority of what you do, on autopilot, just for the sake of resource optimization, if you want to stay realistic or pragmatic about these concepts. It's just optimizing the resource of your brain. Your mind needs to be on autopilot, needs to make the least decisions, the least amount of decisions possible. So that could be a good thing if the paradigm is positive. So the problem is, and why we're actually talking about paradigms in such a negative way, more or less today, it's because the paradigm is most of the time storing limiting beliefs and storing conditioning that will not really allow you to grow and to go after that goal and go achieve it. Why is that? Is because the paradigm, as we say, wants to protect you, wants to keep you where you are. And the limiting beliefs are the ones that are really holding you back. So when you set up a C-type goal, please be careful. When the paradigm kicks in, it could be in the form of, okay, now I don't have money, maybe next week, maybe next month, like next Monday, I'll go to the gym. New Year resolutions, okay, new year, new me. And then February, everything kicks in as it was before, and we just go back to where we were. Why is that? Because there is a really short time slot between you setting up the goal, making the decision, the big decision, admitting to yourself that you want this big thing, and the paradigm saying, absolutely not. We're staying where we are, and I'm going to give you an infinite list of reasons why it's not feasible. You'll be amazed on how your mind, and as a result, your body will act. Could be really weird things that the body does. Even the body can get sick. When you make a decision that's really getting you outside of the comfort zone, you can just start catching colds out of nowhere, starting having migraines. Why is that? It's because the paradigm will do everything in its power to keep you where you are. And then you start looking for reasons why this is not feasible, why it's not a good idea to go talk to that person, why it's not a good idea to book that trip. And you'll get all kind of reasons why it's not possible, why it's not feasible. But please be careful. Now, this is a conscious choice. This is not subconscious anymore, because now you have the awareness. The conscious choice is saying, okay, is this my paradigm talking? Is this my limiting beliefs? Maybe try to write it down, make it clear. Have this conversation with yourself. We'll talk about this a bit later, but for now, we have a couple of questions to ask you. So, Jay, if you can launch the poll, please. Okay, we have a couple of questions today for day 2. First question, what type of goals are you setting? Are they safe goals or goals that actually excite and challenge you? Second question, what would your life or business look like in 12 months if you stopped playing small? Can you start imagining that? And third, be honest. Are you growing by design or just hoping things will take off? So are you living your life intentionally and really taking the lead in your life decisions, or are you just following along, just wishing things will work out? Okay, do we have results?
I think people are thinking it over. We've only had about
Hey,
25% of our people so far answering our questions, but so
that's
far,
okay.
everyone is saying that they are setting goals that actually excite and challenge them, which is
Oh, we lost you
awesome
there,
to
Jay.
hear.
Okay.
The second question is a written one, so we'll come back to that one in shortly. We're back.
Yeah, you're
Am
back.
I back? Oh, cool. The second one is a written one, so I'll come back to those ones shortly. Well done, everyone who is now doing the poll. Good job. And we are pretty much 50-50 split for question 3. So 55% are saying it's all designed, and 45% are hoping that things will just take off on their own.
Yeah, that's very understandable.
It is.
It is. So, yeah, these are very insightful questions to ask yourself, and maybe ask yourself again and again if you can, because we usually think we're setting up a big goal, but the goal can be not worthy of you. Because guess what? You're actually going to invest time, probably money, effort, energy, passion, love, whatever, sacrifices to that goal. So, what do you want to put all that in? Is that goal really worth it? Or are you just playing it safe? That so that you don't have to sacrifice that amount of time, that amount of money, the amount of effort and energy and strength, whatever you need to achieve that goal. So ask yourself the question again and again. It's a good thing that everyone basically is choosing the C-type goal, is choosing the big one, the big thing, the big desire. That's excellent. Second question is really to start exercising your imagination and thinking of a scenario where you stop playing it small, where you stop asking how. And this is what we focused on yesterday. Stop asking how. You don't need to know the how now. You will know the how once you set up a deadline, decide what you want, and know the next step, the very small next step to do next. And then we'll start jumping from there. So you don't need to know all the how. You can only figure out the how you did the things that you have already done looking backwards. If I look backwards to a couple of years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just following up step by step, step after the step, and doing things after they unfold, after they become clear. Okay, now the path is getting clearer. I'll take the next step. I'll take the next action. I make the next decision. But all the actions, the decisions have to be bold, have to be big. And this is the difference. We're not playing it small. We're playing it step by step, but the steps can be huge leaps. And this we will talk about in the next days. But for now, um, yeah, if you can, Jay, share the question results
Okay,
anonymously, of
so
course. So,
yeah, they will all be anonymous, do not worry. So the question was, what would your life or business look like in 12 months if you stopped playing small? And the results are it would grow at a fast rate. It would be potentially completely different. Drop the potentially, it will be completely different. Great. My life would be very different. Huge. I think I would land a good job once I complete my Prince 2 certification. That certification is done.
yeah,
So you will have, or you do have, a good job. That is your choice. Somebody else said amazing. Someone said better, I think. Drop the I think. It will be better. To make £20,000 a month, definitely worth it and doable. And it would be the life, personal and business, would be as I have always wanted. That one's good. Great
that
responses,
is
guys.
excellent. I love this. Perfect. all results, all the responses are really amazing, and you'll be amazed that the more you think about things without asking the how, the more flexible your mind is going to become, and the more ideas will come to you. And guess what? That Prince 2 certification, you probably don't need it. I don't know who you are, but you probably don't need it, because I have worked all my life until now. I still have my full-time job as a project manager, and now I'm a senior project manager for a big company. And I didn't need any PMP or Prince 2 or whatever the other certifications are, because I simply just had the belief that I already know what's inside that certification. I already know that if I took the certification today, it's just a matter of an hour or two to take the exam. But I have the confidence so that in the interview, I can literally convince that person who's talking to me that I'm probably much better than the person who just has the certification but does not really know how to act or how to make decisions or how to manage things. So, whoever you are, if you want to reach out later to talk about this, I'll be more than happy to talk about what I do and how I actually managed to convince senior leaders in a very big company to hire me. I was not a senior project manager. I just put senior project manager on my resume. I decided that, okay, now I'm a senior. Treat me as such. I will prove that I'm a senior. And I just came to the interview with that belief. And guess what? I got the job. So, yeah, probably the thing that you need is you think that the thing that you think is a prerequisite for your goal could be just something inside your head. I have so many examples of things like that, and we have so many stories to share today. Maybe the first story, John, if you want to unmute yourself and telling us the story about your limiting beliefs and how you actually were self-sabotaging your business just because of a limiting belief.
Yeah. Hi guys, thank you, Neil. That was brilliant so far. Sorry, I was making loads of notes here. Yeah, welcome everybody. It's great to see everybody back from day one. So this is brilliant. I mean, even we're loving this and we know it already. So it's great. But the thing about it is about paradigms, as Nina said, it's a combination of habits and beliefs and limiting beliefs in a lot of the cases because we tend to associate these with negative things. And I'd turn this around, but just before I tell you a little story about that, for me, I would class myself, as a man's man in construction and all that kind of thing. So if anybody mentioned to me about mind, I would be thinking, oh, there's people that go and hug the trees and hippies and people in doing psychology majors in America and this kind of thing. I had no idea what it was about really. To me, it was just, don't talk cobblers, just, work hard and, that's it. And then when things went wrong for me in business, and I lost everything. I lost houses, I lost the business, I lost relationships, I lost all the money I had, I lost everything. And stress and depression and everything kicked in and suicidal thoughts and et cetera, et cetera. But what I started to notice was I was actually getting hair, like literally lumps, like bald patches, literally just where the hair, they'd literally be as if somebody just shaved a perfect circle in my head and on my face. And literally hair would just disappear. It wouldn't grow there again. It has now, thankfully, but it didn't then. And I couldn't realize like what's going on. And then as I started to change things, you notice the mind is so powerful. I mean, if somebody said to you, if you think about this for long enough, bits of your hair will fall out. You go, and it can make you so ill. It can make you believe things that don't exist. And it's crazy where you can go down, how far down you can go. But the great thing about that is when you realize how this works, you can flip it around. And as far down as you can go is also there's equally you can go up the same height. And man, I've achieved some amazing stuff since then. We could talk about this for hours and hours. But one of the lovely things I just want to share that I just wrote down here is when you understand that you can use it for good, you can attract and manifest anything you set your mind to, which is one of the things that Nina just spoke about, limiting beliefs. And I'll just tell a little story that the way I am now is if I get an unexpected bill for something, something just comes out of the blue, I don't pay it with what I have. I want to manifest that separately. So something came in for €2,000 that I had to pay. It had to be paid in a couple of weeks or by the end of the month. So I think I had about 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks to pay it. So when I get something like that, I think, right, well, how can I make 2,000? How can I get 2,000? I don't just say, okay, I pay it. I think I need an additional because this is an additional bill. So I need an additional money. And I was trying to figure out ways of doing this, and I was thinking about things. And I got a phone call from this guy from Australia, right? I bear in mind I'm in Ireland, right? This guy rings from Australia asking me, was I doing carpentry courses? Now I finished doing those when the whole lockdown thing kicked in, which is, I don't know, how long ago was that? 2020 was it? Or yeah, I think that stopped. But it was around then anyway, the whole COVID thing. It's a lockdown. So the training company closed down then. I couldn't operate it because you couldn't work side by side. And this guy said, look, I really want to do this. And I said, well, it doesn't exist anymore. I don't even have the company. I don't do it. So he was so insistent. And I said, look, sorry anyway. That was the end of the conversation. And then he rang back again another day. He messaged me and I was messaging him back because he seen me messaging me, rang me straight away again, who's still in Australia. And he rang me and he said, there's another guy who wants to do it as well. There's two of us. And I said, but I can't do it. I literally don't have anywhere to do it. I don't have the plate. There's nothing. I can't do it. It's finished. And he said, look, I want to send you a deposit. So I just thought, oh, what the hell? I said, okay, well, give me 1,000 each. And he said, well, just send me a link and I'll pay it. So literally they sent me 1,000 each. I've never met these people. I don't know who they are. They just told me that they heard of me from somebody else. And oddly enough, it's a 6-week course that I'm actually starting on Monday. I had to just create this workshop for these guys because I just felt so bad then when I got the money, because I just thought, I just was just saying, what the hell? Send me it, because I thought they would have said no and I never heard from them again. But they sent it. So then I had to do it. So it literally starts on Monday for 6 weeks. And as crazy as that is, even because I did that for that 6 weeks, now there's a lot of other things that have happened that I can actually do while I'm on that course teaching them that I'm actually going to earn more money from. So just by me saying, how am I going to get €2,000? I got a phone call from Australia from a guy I don't know for a business that didn't exist anymore. And I asked him for money that, that I hadn't even got a course for. And he got another fella and the two of them sent me 1,000 each. And so that really is just one little story about how you can manifest something totally out of the blue by just using the power of your mind.
That is so inspiring, John. And yes, it can be really that easy. Just because you make the decision to manifest whatever you need for your goal, your mind will go and do the work for you. Your mind will get you the ideas. We often hear about the law of attraction. That's not esoteric. That's not magic. That's not just like magical things happening in the universe that no explanation can be given for. This is science. We think about manifesting as that, okay, I will just like focus on the idea so much that it will just appear in front of me. That's not how it works, because your mind can literally go and find ideas, can start seeing things that you haven't really noticed before, and this is how you get the opportunities, and this is how you get the next ideas, the next person that you probably couldn't connect with before because you weren't really able to see it, you weren't able to make that connection happen. So, yeah, we have Sarah wants to ask a question. Please go ahead.
I've got a question for John about manifesting. Because I'm really working on this right now, but I want to kind of like make sure I'm using the best context, should we say. So when you're trying to manifest things, right, mentally, sorry, that's the dog yawning. To hear you. But I best to kind of go, I need to do this, or I want to do this. Like, how is language wise? Like, how are we best to like go about it? Could you a bit of advice?
What do you mean? What
So
kind of language exactly, Sarah? I'm not sure I understood.
What I mean is, like, when you're thinking about it, do you just assume that it's done, or do you like, how do you mentally like think about it? Do you think it's a done deal, or do you see what I mean?
Got it. Yeah. So you have to speak about it as already done. And this is what we showed about the goal card earlier. we literally started saying, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then after that, the goal is achieved. Now that I earn that amount of money, or that I am this kind of person, or that my health is this and that, or that I have this job. So literally start speaking of it as already done. It is done, and it has to be really incorporated in your mind as already done, because the mind will have a much more a much easier way manifesting or getting the thoughts and ideas to get you there when it believes that it's already done, because your brain can actually just see what you're suggesting it should see. This is literally scientifically proven. Your brain can literally make your eyes see something that is not there, or make your eyes assimilate something to something else, just because the suggesting behind is subconscious. This is what optical illusion is like, and this is exactly how reality works. So the fact that you speak about the goal as already achieved will trick your brain into thinking about it as something easy, because it's real, it has happened. So it will create the story of how it happened. Think of it this way. It's like suggesting to your brain that this is actually a memory. This is a story that already happened. And you can start giving it details and really write a script of how your life should look like, what the goal is like, how exactly are you living within that goal achievement situation, what's your life is manifesting like. I don't know what the goal is, but it could be anything. But the more into detail you get, the more it's easy for your brain to create that story. And once the story is done, you just have all the ideas done, because your brain has already managed to make the story real. So managed to fill in the blanks. It's literally that, filling in the blanks. But the main ingredient is that it already happened. Does that work? Okay. The dog is not. Maybe, yeah. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, my dog is being incredibly noisy, but that is really helpful. Thank you.
No worries. All right. John, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. Lost the. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. What Sarah was saying there. Yeah, one of the things when Sarah was asking there, what steps you take, just to add on to what Nina was saying, what I found for me is when you discover what your goal is and you write it down, and the next thing you do then is you write 6 goal achieving activities. So what that basically means is you write the activities you can do to move you towards your goal. And that really hones your mind. So if, for example, you said, I want to get healthy, you might write, well, I'm just going to go for a walk tomorrow. I'm going to bring the dog for a walk. I'm going to just have a little bit more fruit, or, it shouldn't be something like, the usual New Year's resolutions that I'm going to go and buy a gym membership, all of the gear, and then I'm going to buy all these brand new runners or trainers for 200 quid, and you spend an absolute fortune when all you really need to do is just go outside your front door and walk. So whatever the goal is, even if whether it's a big goal or a small goal, you just need to write, once you start thinking about the goal achieving activity, so the activities you're going to do to move you closer to your goal, your brain actually starts to focus on ways for you to achieve that goal, and things appear that you've never thought of before. And also things start to appear in your life that will help you to get to that point. I know that seems very strange if you haven't achieved any of those things yet, but all of us here know that that's perfectly normal now, because that's what we do. If we're writing down something we want to achieve, then you start figuring out ways you're going to achieve it. You don't think, well, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that, because anything is possible. If you start thinking, well, here's something I can't, like for example, if you want to go and you want to buy a chateau in France, and you think, well, I don't have the money for it, I can't speak French, how am I going to get there? I mean, there's loads of ways you can do that, but if you just start thinking about ways you can't, then that's exactly what will happen. You can't, and you never will. So writing your goal down, be very specific with a date, and also mentioned earlier, do mini goals. So whatever your goal is, so if it is, say, a chateau in France, for example, well, you say you can't afford it. Well, you don't know you can't afford it because you haven't even researched how much they cost. So the first thing to do is research it. And then, then how would you live there? is there an actual English speaking community in the area? So there's loads of different things that you can do to actually make these things more believable in your mind. You can kind of trick your mind if you like. So I hope that helps a little bit anyway.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Brilliant.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sarah, for your question. And if you guys have any other question, please feel free to either post it in the chat, in the comments if you're watching us live on social media, or if you want to unmute yourself and share the question with us, please feel free to do so. In the meantime, let's answer a very difficult question, or a very obvious question, let's say. How do I actually change the paradigm? So if you're listening today, you could say, okay, you guys have been telling us all this evening that the paradigm is the main problem, and the paradigm has so many limiting beliefs and it's holding me back. And now that I know what I want, I know that the paradigm is going to can literally make me sick in order for me not to go get that goal. So how can I change it? Can it be changed, or do I simply ignore it, or do I change the goal? How did that happen? Paradigms can change because paradigms are not constant. Paradigms are like a software. A software can probably, like, think of it as your operating system on your laptop. It can literally catch a virus, or it can literally get an update and become better. This is exactly how paradigms work. It's a software that you have been enriching with habits, with new beliefs, with new people that you meet, with your school, with your career, with your day-to-day environment, with your daily routines. Everything that you're putting into your daily habits kind of enriches that paradigm. So how do we change the paradigms? We change the habits. How do I actually change the habits? Constant spaced repetition. This is the simplest, most obvious formula to understand. Constant spaced repetition. Choose one paradigm, one limiting belief, one thing, one habit that you want to change. Describe the opposite of that habit. Okay, if my habit is that I eat too much sugar, why do I eat too much sugar? Okay, because it brings me joy. Scientifically, okay, it causes my dopamine to go to the roof, and then I feel so amazing. And then at the end of the day, my glucose level will crash and I feel awful. Okay, I know the paradigm. I know the exact opposite of the paradigm. I only eat healthy things. I have an amazing daily routine. I have a very healthy diet. I am so happy and grateful now that I have a healthy diet, and I'm full of life and full of energy. This is how the goal should be. This is literally just about sugar. Very easy example. This is the goal, how it should be done, how it should be written, and how it should be incorporated into your subconscious mind. I'm so happy and grateful now that my eating habits are getting better and better every day, and my health and fitness level are getting better and better. Very obvious. So what's the paradigm? I eat too much sugar. Okay, what's the exact opposite of the paradigm? I don't like sugar. I eat so many other things that are much better for me because I know better. Okay, now the habit. How do I change it? You do not change a habit, or you do not change an existing conditioning or paradigm by just fighting it, saying, okay, I need to stop smoking, or I need to stop eating sugar, or tomorrow I'm going to the gym. I like cold turkey, like we say. Do not quit cold turkey, but try to replace the habit, replace the paradigm by something better that it will literally make the old conditioning obsolete. We're still talking software jargon today. So you have a previous version, an old version of, I don't know, Windows that you want to change. Okay, just install something else that will literally just override the existing model, that will make it obsolete. Don't just stand in front of your laptop and complain all day saying, you're too slow, you're not allowing me to do my job, this is not whatever. Could be really anything. But the idea is really to change the habit by something else that will literally take its place. So if another habit that's preventing me from doing my job, like, for example, I don't know, I want to start a business, but I'm losing 3 hours a day scrolling on social media. I had that problem last year. I wanted to focus on creating content, but once I open my Instagram to get inspired by content to create, I'll just like waste 2 hours just scrolling on Instagram and completely lose track of time. So what did I do? I simply filtered my Instagram feed to only show me what will benefit my business. So there's literally no getting away from that. I simply replaced the habit by something else, or it just literally replaced the time that I would spend just scrolling endlessly on social media with scrolling within my business interest. So I'm only absorbing content that is beneficial for my business. And I got so many ideas and I met so many people just because this little switch that I did. So think of it like that. Define the paradigm and then repeat its opposite over and over again. Repeat it verbally. Talk about it as you are not the person that is doing that thing, that paradigm, that bad habit, but you are actually that new person that has a healthy lifestyle, that has a very high rate of success in their job interviews, that have a very successful business, that has a very high level of charisma and confidence. Start thinking about yourself like that and start verbalizing this. Start speaking of yourself like this. Tomorrow we will talk about the self-image, and this is another big, huge step that you need to understand for this equation of success, because part of the paradigm is the self-image, and part of the paradigm is what's holding you back mostly is the idea that you have of yourself. So for now, I think the homework for today would be to identify one limiting belief, one teeny tiny thing, one fear, one habit that you think is holding you back the most, and then start to change it by repeating its opposite over and over again, and by incorporating little habits that will prove that old habit to be wrong. So whatever that is, if you need inspiration, if you have examples, please feel free to ask the question. But whatever the paradigm is, you can literally think of it opposite. It's a very easy thing to do, but probably not very easy to implement. So the secret is constant spaced repetition. The more often and the more constantly and consistently you repeat it, the easier it would just fade away and get replaced by this new habit, this new paradigm, this new belief. Yes, John.
I was just going to say, I think Polly has a lovely story related to this that I think it'd be nice for her to share if she doesn't mind.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So about cracking on with the self-limiting belief. Yesterday I did mention about my dad was announced with lung cancer in September, and obviously the entire family was on despair, and we are all feeling like so crushing. The first thing I thought to myself is, this is absolutely a family tragedy, because my dad was literally the one, he is holding the most important place in our own family. But then I said to myself, well, in order for me to really make my wish fulfilled, I need to really change my paradigm. So I said to myself, this is not a family tragedy. This is a family transformation. And I said to myself, why is this going to be a bloody family transformation? This is so tragic. And Dad is having lung cancer. We've never experienced anything like this before. But I said to myself, I don't need to know the how. I just need to know this is the family transformation, and this is it. And then I just keep convincing myself every day, despite all the fear, all the doubts, and all the diagnosis from the doctor. I just keep saying to myself, this is not tragedy, this is family transformation. And then finally, I start convincing myself enough, I start sharing this with my entire family, starting with my dad, and then my mom, and then my brothers and sisters. And so my mom and my dad were saying, why is this a family transformation? Tell me why. And then I start coming up with all the reasons I didn't even think it was possible. And I said to Mom, I said to Dad, you have been ignoring your health for years. This is a really great reminder for you to really pay attention to your health. So this will be a great change for your diet. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be healthy. And I turned to my mom. I said to my mom, you have been suffering years of anxiety and panic attack. Now I'm going to teach you the power of the mind and the spirituality. Then learning this, it will help you to ease your anxiety. And then, so we have only 2 minutes left, so I'm not going to share too much story details in here. But as a result, my dad did become cancer-free in 30 days. And as of today, my mom has in her anxiety and panic attack. Previously, she eats sleeping pill like candies. She would need to eat 2 or 3 per day. Now she only eat 1 pill across 3 days with everything that's happened. So, to answer your question, if sometimes you might need to manifest things that you didn't know that was possible. Like John said, you need to come out with a 7 little breakdown. Sometimes you just don't even have that. You just have no freaking clue because it is so out of your mind right now. But you just have to come up with a statement, write out a statement 100 times if necessary to keep convincing yourself this is a family transformation, or whatever goal that is. Over time, your old paradigm will start shifting to this because your mind will be automatically start looking for anything to rationalize your new statement. So as an outcome, if you want to manifest for things that you cannot even think of the very first step that is even possible, just write it down. Just write it down. If you cannot think of today, you can think of tomorrow, because your mind still need to go through that kind of fearful phase before. Write it down, believe, use your desire to drive you. To say to yourself, I don't know the how, I have no freaking clue, but I want this to happen in my life. And so I'm going to convince my mind this is going to happen. So I hope that sums up, there's a little add note bit to answer Sarah's question as well. Okay.
That's so inspiring. Thank you so much, Polly. I love this story. I love how powerful this is. And yes, Jay, go ahead.
There's been a comment in the Facebook live stream that says, if you change the rules on what controls you, you will change the rules on what you can control.
I love that. Oh, yes.
So it's just that little shift.
Oh,
There's the
yes.
other saying, I can't remember who said it, but it's when you change the way you look at something, the thing you look at changes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's literally it. So you have the choice to either take control and say, okay, I take responsibility. Whatever happened before, it happened. Whatever the paradigm is, I have to become aware of it. And then I know how to change it. Constant space repetition. Just decide what's the first paradigm to change. Go one at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. One at a time. One paradigm to change. Think of its opposite and start incorporating any suggestions, any self-talk, any new habits that will incorporate this new model, this new version, this update that will really delete that virus, really delete that paradigm. I think we come to an end for this day 2. So if you still have any questions, please feel free to reach to us by email or in the comments below the video. We'll make sure to answer your questions tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very powerful day. This is my favorite part. It's about the self-image and how to actually build a strong self-image for you to become that person that will have or will achieve that goal. Because without becoming that person, the goal will still be far, far away. So we need to become that person before, and then after that, all the goals in the world will really come to you very easily and very effortlessly. With that being said, this was Nina Roberts, Polly Lou, John Power, and Jaiye Cordory. We are the Freedom Collective, and this is the 5-day Success Accelerator. Please feel free to join us for day 3 if you're watching us live. Register on Zoom and join us directly live so you can ask your questions and get live support. With that being said, have a lovely end of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.